Our next question comes to us from Charles in New York. I may have made a big mistake. I recently purchased a very expensive new car and have 5 years of big payments ahead of me. I've always wanted to go on a long international trip, but the car is now stopping me from doing this. Friends have told me this is the only time in my life I can have an expensive car, but I'm wondering if I should have traveled first. I'm 22 and very confused. What would you have done?
Well, can I just say you're 22. You have your whole life ahead of you to do stupid things with your money.
No, his friends have told him it's the only time in his life he can have an expensive car.
I don't even know what that means exactly.
Not only that, but your earning potential is clearly maxed out at 22.
Yes, it absolutely is.
Charles, you got to get some better friend advice.
Yes, so I agree.
The biggest problem I have with this question is, what would we have done? So you've already done it, right?
Yes.
All right. So the great thing about expensive cars or international travel is you could actually have those at any point in your whole life. Do you know when most international travel probably happens? Old retired people going to all the places they wanted to go.
Absolutely.
Do you know where most of the expensive cars are bought? Older men
over in Europe
in
by
midlife
older men.
crisis. Midlife crisis. So Charles, one of the things I said is you have 5 years of big payments ahead of me. What you should be more concerned about the fact is that you're 22 and you put yourself into a lot of debt.
Right. And cars
at the wrong time in your life.
Cars are not an investment. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it's depreciated significantly.
He had an expensive new car. Now it is a
less expensive new car.
Exactly. Really, if cars are what you're into, then you should be happy with what you did. Mm-hmm. The fact that you're questioning it, I think you just almost wanted a status symbol without being, really tied to, I love this car, this is what I want.
And now he's got buyer's remorse because he can't do other things.
I don't know if he's got buyer's remorse. He sounds like he's happy. Well, let me say this. Maybe he's happy he bought the expensive new car, but maybe he only bought it now because his friends convinced him now is the only time you can possibly have
do it. Yeah.
An expensive new car. What's going to happen, Charles, is if you have a family, it's the last time you can probably have a 2-seater. and
I don't know the car. We don't know what car it is, so it could
but I'm going to tell you,
more than 2 people.
A family car is not that cheap anymore either. So
that is true, and really. If it's like a fun sports car, I don't know if you want to be putting little kids into it with all their bodily fluids and sticky fingers.
I really don't like where you
God only knows what.
So we're going to move on from that. Bodily fluids. All right. So Charles, yes, you may have made a big mistake just financially because you got 5 years of payments. So you're going to be dealing with that, and you have to make sure you're managing your money well. But, if you wanted to go on a long international trip, you've already made one commitment. You've made a decision. But he asked, what would we have done? I would not have
bought a really expensive car.
I would not have done either.
That's true as well.
I mean, a long international trip, if that's something you really had time for, you don't have a job that you're tied to and you can go on this really long trip when you're young, that'd be cool. I would never actually spend a lot of money on a car. A car is for mobility. A car depreciates in value badly. You never get that back. It is not where you want to dump your money because ultimately, I would make sure my money is going into investments, setting up for retirement, doing, real estate if you have that kind of money to spend so you can build a portfolio and earn wealth.
Doing things that's going to help your money to grow. And that you can get a return.
And then you can get that expensive car later when you have all these investments and a lot of money. And I just find I'm impressed at 22 you have the money to do this. And I hope you do. And I hope you didn't put yourself in a bad financial bind. Mm-hmm. But personally, I wouldn't have done either. I would have waited a little bit on both because you don't have to rush out and do everything you want. And sometimes you have to kind of earn it and make sure you have the money to back the rest of your life before you start spending it on all the luxuries that are just that. They are luxuries, not necessities. So that's my take.
Right. And being 22 years old, you have so much life ahead of you. And as you progress in a career and progress in life, you're going to need to take trips and vacations to recharge your batteries. So maybe it's good that you're not taking that long European trip now.
You don't want to do all your best stuff when you're 22. You want to spread that out over your life.
Yes.
You don't want to blow your wad at the beginning, Charles. All right. So that's our answers. The last question is for our listeners. What advice would you give Charles in this situation? Leave your answers in the comments down below.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video.
And we appreciate that. If you need advice, go ahead and click on the link in the description below, and it may get answered in a later episode.
And if you want to watch more Twice the Advice, check out our other videos right now.